Our next guest tonight, hanging out for our Halloween show, is joining me all the way from Alberta, Canada. I'd like everybody to welcome to the show Mark, Anthony, and Will of the band The Galacticas. How we doing?
We're doing pretty good. Just finished jamming. Our first jam in like a month. So.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Was it smooth? Iron out the kinks a little bit?
Yeah. We're planning on a couple little socially distant shows in a couple of months here, and we just got to get the rust off.
I think. Are we allowed to swear?
Oh yeah, fucking A.
Yeah. I think we got all the shitty out of us.
Sometimes you just gotta have that jam session. Just exert all the shit out. Be like, all right, get it all out of the way now.
Yeah. Yeah, we were gigging a ton right before the whole lockdown in March, and then we just went from gigging almost every weekend to just nothing. So,
yeah, I think most of us are feeling the repercussions of that pretty heavy. So,
Yeah.
But good to hear that you got some new options out on the horizon, which is good. Some social distance shows, which is always nice.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually very excited to have you here on the show. I instantly fell head over heels for you when I first heard you. So I'm really excited to be able to share.
Oh, no way!
Thank you.
So for my mixtapers that aren't familiar, just go down the line, introduce yourself, and tell us what you do in the band.
I guess I'll start. My name's Mark. I'm actually the most recent joining member of the band here. I'm the only one that's not an original founding member. So, but I play bass guitar and do backing vocals and keyboards on the album.
Nice.
Yeah, my name's Anthony Janicki, and I started the band essentially, and I play guitar and lead vocals. So.
Yeah, and I'm Will, drummer, kind of vocals whenever I can hit the note.
Yeah,
but
whenever we let him.
whenever they allow me.
If there's an extra microphone.
Yeah.
Got one laying around. It's fine. It's fine. You can just put it on 3. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm one of those too. Don't worry. I feel you.
Yeah.
So for the mixtapers that may not be familiar with you, what kind of band is the Galacticas?
So we're basically like a, I don't know, I call this just a geeky pop punk band. We basically just kind of do the whole Green Day, Blink-182, a little bit of Against Me, and then all our songs are about stupid nerdy shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's what attracted me to you entirely, because punk rock and super nerdy shit are my two worlds. So
yeah, well, I can see the Dalek behind you.
You've got this great 3-piece punk feel going on. You're rocking the nostalgia factor hard, but you do it in the most endearing way with tons of heart. So that was one of the first things I noticed about you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. We just have a lot of fun. That's basically the number one MO is just having a good time. So.
Yeah, we didn't want to make like stupid, silly songs. We kind of wanted to approach it with a little bit more, like you said, heart, or a little bit more seriousness, and because there is kind of a lot of opportunity to expand on these geeky ideas a little bit more than just surface level, and kind of juxtapose it with being in shitty relationships or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, we're always trying to walk a line between going too far into kind of joke novelty band, but also still keep the geeky side, because that's who we are. We're huge nerds. So
yeah, exactly.
I definitely when I saw that, when I first playing the song, playing Mario Kart at Amy's apartment, it's instantly just that song title. It's playing Mario Kart at blank. We all of us in the nerd culture, we have that memory of growing up playing Mario Kart with a friend, best friend, your brother, your sibling, that special somebody. It's just ingrained in you. So that instantly jumped out to me. So
right on.
Got the nerd factor, but there's also the heart in there, So I really dig that.
Well, one thing I like to try to harness is my inner Gaslight Anthem. I love that band a lot. And Against Me too, just the way they approach songwriting are kind of, I don't know, they just do it in such a clever way that real, I don't know. So I'm trying to rip them off, but then also I throw in just nerdy lyrics in between.
Yeah.
Well, I think what's similar is that you're both good storytellers, and it comes across. And a lot of those bands, they kind of they tell a good story while putting, you know, like the emotion side in there, and I think that's where you guys are comparable.
Cool. Yeah. We're trying our best, but you know, we can't help but be exactly, you know, our own flavor is going to come through and make it its own thing.
We'll eventually get to a Battlestar Galactica reference. Eventually.
Yeah, we still haven't made one yet.
Yeah. And that's the type of thing that you want to hold on until it's just right. You don't want to rush that.
Yeah. I think we threw in a Foundation reference in the song recently, and that was a real jump for us.
Yeah. We try to limit the amount of Star Wars references. There are a lot of them, but we're always mindful. There's maybe like 3 per album.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. That's not overdoing it, you know.
Yeah. You gotta walk a line.
Now, how long have you been doing this for? So, Anthony, you started the band back when?
Well, I started the band with Will. But the band was like my idea, I guess. And it was like, what, 2016?
16, 17, yeah, somewhere around there.
It's early, 2016 is when we really got going. So. And then Mark joined like a year later.
Yeah.
So he's been in the band for pretty much the whole time now.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Well, we spent like a good year or like 6 months like just practicing, and like we didn't want, when we hit the scene in Calgary, we had like an EP. We did this like animated music video, which nobody really did at the time, at least in our scene. So as soon as we started playing, it was just like, here's the band, and then like we were just like hitting the ground running.
Yeah, that was my plan. I didn't want to play any like kind of shows where we're still learning how to play. Like I wanted to I made a jam for like 6 months before our first gig, and we had an EP to sell right away. Like we went to the studio because I just wanted to like get going, you know, like yeah.
Well, absolutely. And was the first one, was it Alberta Girls was the first one?
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you released that back in 2017, Alberta Girls, Sci-Fi and Rock and Roll.
Yeah. I think that's about right.
Yeah, that's about right.
Or maybe it was late 2016. Either way, that was the first. It was on an EP. That's right. Yeah. So and so Mark didn't record, our bass player right now. He wasn't on that first EP or the first full length album.
Yeah.
So we had a different guy named Dan, and he's dead now. So he's not dead.
And shit got dark.
The Halloween episode.
He's there in spirit.
Yeah.
Back behind the treadmill back there.
Yeah.
Gotta stay fit, be sharp, make good decisions.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I have a cooler background. This is my place, but right now my landlord's like trying to sell the house, so I had to move all my cool like posters and stuff outside. So all I got is this little painting. That's what it is.
Oh, you're fine.
And a treadmill. I mean, it's okay.
I mean, come on, it's a cool treadmill.
It is. It's, I don't have one. I could use one, so it's like, is that a treadmill? Yeah, it's a treadmill.
Yeah.
So shortly after putting the EP out, a little bit then you got Mark into the band. Did your second EP was what, Diagnostics?
Yeah, that's the full length. Yeah, that was our second release was Diagnostics. That's right.
Yeah,
and shamefully, it does include a couple of the songs that were on the EP.
Yeah,
you know, we're in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you did like a newer recording of it and stuff like that, then it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it was remastered from we pulled a George Lucas and remastered it, threw a bunch of TIE fighters into it.
That's right. Yeah.
You randomly decided to throw Jabba the Hutt into A New Hope.
That's right. Yeah. But we really think it was a good idea.
Unlike George Lucas's idea, which was terrible.
That was awful. That was like one of the best part of Star Wars was alluding to a villain you didn't see for 3 movies.
That's
right. Yeah.
Well, so I grew up watching I had the original 3 on VHS, and so I had that experience. I said, "Who's this Jabba?" And then like when you see him in Return of the Jedi, you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
But then you watch that fucking. Like that's the only way you know it, right?
Well, yeah, because like I grew up, I'm 68 years younger than him, so I grew up with a special edition. So I actually had the CGI, the really bad CGI scene with Jabba the Hutt with Han Solo walking around him, and it's so it's so copy and paste of him walking over the tail.
Step over your tail real quick.
Yeah. And when I was a kid, I was like, "This is sweet." Like I didn't really know any better, and then I think I was like I don't know, 16 when I saw the original cut scene, the one with Jabba, but it was just the guy in like a big fur coat. And
that's not in the movie.
That's not in the movie, but like I thought that was kind of cool.
Sorry, you got us going here.
No, which is fine because we can totally go this way. And one question, but I'm always curious about at the end of Jedi. You think that the Ewoks ate the stormtroopers? Because I definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I feel like the movie doesn't actually shy away from implying that either. Like,
they're playing on their heads.
Like I've heard people like, oh, they're just playing their helmets. They're just playing their helmets. Be like, yeah, but they're a carnivorous tribal race. They
ate them. That's why
they were gonna eat Luke and Leia, or like Luke and Han Solo.
You know, wouldn't it be kind of funny if there was like a recut version of the last song you hear in the background, just stormtroopers screaming for their lives that they're like being lit on fire for food.
Get that R rating.
Yeah. They're still dancing.
Leia and Han just like trying to awkwardly be like, no, I'm good. The dirty look between Chewie and Han because Chewie's just like getting right into it.
Right. Yeah.
Like, dude, you're like 3 shit decisions away before this becomes you.
Yeah. I love it.
That was the uncut scene from The Force Awakens. Was after Han Solo died, Chewie actually went and ate to honor his friend.
That's funny.
Oh man, it's good when you can get Star Wars fans with like a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we're super like. Yeah, there are 2 kinds of Star Wars fans, and there's the kind that like needs to realize that it's all a bunch of bullshit, but it's still fun bullshit, you know. And then there's the kind that take it seriously, and those are the insufferable eagles.
I completely agree. You'll probably dig this then as I.
It's rad.
Always guarded my 6.
Yeah.
I got this set up like an X-wing.
Cool. Yeah.
No, it looks great. It's all well lit and everything. Look at you.
I know. I got like these lights and stuff and the fancy camera. I got the set dressing. I got the plant. I got everything. But all the key elements of the talk show.
Yeah,
exactly.
The plant
Except
really
for a handsome host. I'm still trying to find one of those. So obviously, much alike, very influenced by sci-fi and fantasy and things like that. So like, has it always been like a big motivating factor? Like you knew that you really just wanted to put yourself in there and just put your geekdom like right into the band?
No, the first EP, Alberta Girls, Sci-Fi and Rock and Roll, the only real geek reference is that song. And then the rest of that EP doesn't talk about really anything that's geeky. It wasn't until after we released that where I started thinking about how, hey, no, this is a good angle to approach it from. So the Diagnostic was written with that in mind. But I wasn't thinking that when we first wrote the EP. It's hard to imagine that now, but yeah, it wasn't really part of the DNA right at the beginning.
Yeah, but it was there because we did name the band the Galacticas. We were playing around with the name the Galacticas, and then I think we were both watching Battlestar at the same time, so we were just like, let's just go for broke and call it the Galacticas.
Battlestar is my childhood. I used to get out of school and my parents would be working and my grandparents lived next door, and when I'd get home, like reruns of Battlestar Galactica would be on the Sci-Fi channel, and I'd just sit down for an hour like every day after school as a kid and just like watch Battlestar with my grandfather. And it's still like, so I think it's another reason why I like instantly I'm like, because I always have a soft spot whenever I hear Battlestar Galactica because it just makes me think of that geeky connection I had with my grandpa.
For sure.
So it definitely like playing to the heartstrings.
Yeah, like I don't think I got into it until I think just before joining the band, where I just like had it on TV. And
but you're probably talking about the original Battlestar Galactica,
yes.
right?
I'm talking.
He's talking the remake.
I'm talking like Edward James almost. Yeah.
This guy's only 12, so
yeah.
I've seen both. Like I haven't seen the whole original show, but I catch it on TV, and I watched the as a kid. I used to like to rent the pilot movie or whatever that was.
I love that one.
Yeah. So the pilot episode of Battlestar Galactica is kind of like a movie. Like it's pretty high budget, so like you can call it the movie of Battlestar Galactica. It's cool.
Sweet.
You can watch it. Like it's fun for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to find that original stuff.
I have it on DVD. I really do.
Okay, well I know what I'm doing.
There you go. You can have a little watch party.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that like Battlestar was like the defining sci-fi story for you? Was there something else that just like really got you as a kid, or like even now, that's just like, oh man, I'm like completely in love with it?
I mean,
Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, like obviously Star Wars, I think was the biggest thing when I was a kid, but it wasn't until I entered my 20s where I found Dune, and I think that kind of changed everything. Like Anthony and I had been talking about Dune like nonstop, and Mark hates it. Mark has to listen to.
Well, I'm sorry to do this to you, Mark, but so one, I'm obviously curious to see about the remake, but as massive Dune fans, are you familiar with the documentary Jodorowsky's Dune?
Yeah, that's basically where I kind of found out about Dune in the first place, or kind of had my first exposure. And I don't know, like I think it's kind of a neat idea, but like it is so full of LSD, that dude's vision. I mean, it'd be cool, but I don't know if it'd be like the Dune movie I wanted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm curious though, because it would have been like this massive blockbuster before blockbusters existed. And what's fascinating about that story, mixtapers who are trying to follow along, like Alejandro Jodorowsky of El Topo and Holy Mountain, was trying to get this amazing film crew together, this psychedelic warriors, to make the first novel to film version of Dune, which would have just been absolutely insane. He had like Pink Floyd on for the soundtrack. Yeah. He found H.R. Geiger in a gallery before he was approached to work on Alien. He had found the special effects artist that worked on like John Carpenter's Star Child, and basically put together this big crew for a movie that never was. And then half the crew went on to make Alien, and then the other half went on to make Star Wars, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like, if you go through the concept art that they had for Jodorowsky's Dune, so much of it is like peppered into so much of pop culture today. You know, like even like the Harkonnen base that they drew, which is this H.R. Giger like big bulbous thing with a giant face. They ended up using that in Prometheus later on. It's crazy just how much stuff they pulled from that movie. I think Dan O'Bannon, the writer of the Alien, was actually like was working on Jodorowsky's Dune as well.
But then we got the David Lynch version.
Yeah,
everything was better.
Which, man, Dave, I love Lynch. I love the 1986 version. You know, so I'm excited to see like with this new cast. It's got like obviously Batista, I think, with like every movie just keeps getting better and better. So I'm a Batista fan. Like, I don't know just how can you not be? He's so fucking endearing. And then Zendaya from the new Spider-Man movies as well, and she's a killer actress. So I'm curious to see what she does. And they got obviously a great other cast in there, but like Zendaya, I'm like really curious to see because she's only been in a handful of roles.
Yeah, I've only seen her play MJ in Spider-Man, so I'm curious to see how she'll do like a serious kind of role.
Well, my girlfriend watches a show that she's in called Euphoria, and that's an HBO kind of like teenage drama show, and it's like a heavy drama show, and she pulls it off. Like, I have no worries about her. I think the original reaction I had was like, according to the casting, was like the casting was incredible. I couldn't believe it, and the one that was a little like, oh, I don't know, was Jason Momoa for Duncan, Idaho. And then I saw like the pictures in the trailer, and then reading up a little bit more on Duncan, you're like, this guy's got this.
I think it's fine.
Duncan is a bro, you know, like he'll be good.
Yeah, he's gonna do good. So
yeah,
I'm like highly anticipating that. So when you said that, and that's the whole point of the mixtape. We geek out on our geeky things here. So
absolutely.
If you haven't seen Dune, people who are watching this, go watch the original. And then I would honestly say watch the documentary because it's like mind blowing on like what could have been. So,
have you watched the 2000 like sci-fi channel show that it was a mini series, so it's like 6 hours long, and it's really, really accurate and faithful to the book, but the budget is just not there for it.
And I'm okay with that. I can enjoy a low budget all day, but I haven't seen that, and I actually just wrote it down in my notes right here so I can go and check that out.
It's cool. It's all on YouTube.
It's worth checking out. Yeah. If you like Dune, then it's totally worth it. But like, it's definitely. I'm glad they're giving it another shake.
Yeah.
So, and I think you brought up a point earlier, of being into like Star Wars, Star Trek, and I think like for me, like as a kid, I mean, the wars ruled out because it was just a big adventure story. But as an adult, like just watching Next Gen on repeat, I mean, now that's kind of the world that I could only hope for. You know, if we were try to what we would anticipate for what sci-fi future do we end up with, I would hope for Star Trek, but it seems we're on the line between like Mad Max, Waterworld, or Idiocracy, or like a horrible bastard.
Can you imagine Logan's Run? Yeah.
Mad Max and Idiocracy mixed together.
Imagine Idiocracy with Logan's Run. That's just not going to end well. Oh man. So I'm curious. So you all, just speaking of futures, you just a little while ago, back in August, you released a video called DeLoreans.
That's right. Yeah. We
Like
filmed
that segue, time travel. I'm getting good at
that. Yeah. I don't know if this happened out in Maine, but in Alberta, or at least in Calgary, the city where we live, right when the COVID thing happened, they just like wrapped all of the playgrounds up in caution tape. Did they do that down there?
They did. There's a video called Training Day on our YouTube channel. It's me getting in shape to fight our show's nemesis, the DJ Invisible Man, because we have a nemesis. And it was me preparing for battle, and the playground that we filmed in was all wrapped out in caution tape too.
Yeah, so I thought we'd take advantage of that and just like hire somebody, a friend of ours, to shoot, like help us just shoot a dumb little video on the playground and take advantage of the caution tape while it was there.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
It's definitely a fun video, and I'm excited to go down like all the gauntlet of the Galactica tracks here with videos, because you got a good little chunk, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like to. Well, the DeLoreans is the first live action video we actually shot. I do the animations for the other ones, and I try to do as many as I can. It's my favorite thing to do. So I'm working on one right now, kind of thing. So
you actually took that like the next question away from me, which is totally fine, because I was you said it right there, but it was the first video you actually appeared in as a band, because all your other videos are animated.
That's right. Yeah.
And you do that all yourself.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. I learned how to animate a few years ago, and I just whenever I'm just chilling out at home, I'm just kind of picking away at it.
It
was almost like
awesome.
It was almost like a conscious decision, like when we finally, before we decided to do the geek thing, like we wanted something different with the music video and kind of the look and the style of the band. So we went kind of like the Iron Maiden route, and we just like found mascots for ourselves and tried to push those ones as much as possible.
One thing we do now is we actually bring a projector to our shows, and we'll project the cartoons behind us on a screen so that they're playing while we're playing. Just try to be a little different.
I'm like fully enamored with that. I'm like right hook, line, and sinker with that idea.
Yeah.
But we don't play in sync to the cartoons. We're not that good. Yeah. they're just kind of running in the background, just like, some eye candy.
Which is cool. But if you there are a couple like sync devices where you can take like an audio input to a BPM, and then it like video scrambles naturally, and then it would just naturally go to the BPM. So you wouldn't have to like try to do the work to sync it. You could just make a bank for each song, and then it could naturally go to the BPM, like it can line up to the kick drum.
But as far as making the band bring the projector is like already more work.
He doesn't use guitar pedals at all.
I don't use guitar pedals. We are like fucking like
I'm allowed to bring one drum, like
plug directly into the amp.
Yeah, we don't. We try to, because we do gig a lot out of town, and so we just like we have it like stripped down where we can fit everything in one car, blah blah blah. And, like, we just try to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, so maybe to a science,
which is good, because the guys like I get ambitious when it comes to like some of those things, and then like I try to like just put too much, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let's scrap that idea entirely. But I just put the last 60 hours to, because it's just not going to be feasible. I've done that.
I think we make up what we lack in like I don't know, like
skill.
what we lack in equipment, we make up for in doing a bunch of really cheesy covers. We like to do a lot of really poppy covers, and that wins people over enough. You don't need to get too crazy.
If you don't like us, you will like Avril Lavigne or something.
What do you guys like to do for covers?
Well, like Skater Boy, like you just said.
Yeah.
We try to do a lot of really poppy covers and then just kind of play them in our style, you know. So we punkify them. Like Katy Perry,
Stream. Yeah.
Taylor Swift. We do. I mean, then we do like some Kiss. We do a Kiss song, but we also do a lot of Green Day and some punk rock for sure. But
we kind of have enough of a catalog that if we're like going to a harder crowd and we're playing all night for like 2 or 3 hours, we can shape the set for the entire night to be more catered to like a harder audience or an older audience or a more pop audience, just depending on the venue and the people that are hanging out there. Just to be a little more diversified in our arsenal.
Well, my goal is to always get the girls dancing. If the girls start dancing, then the show is going to be okay.
Yeah.
It makes for a solid night. It really does.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask, what Kiss song are you covering?
Detroit Rock City.
Yeah.
Okay. That definitely for a punk version. I was kind of hoping, looking behind me here, that maybe it was God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
The Bill and Ted song.
Yeah, that was done by Kiss originally.
Yeah,
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Kiss, basically the song that Bill and Ted used to unite humanity is the Kiss song God Gave Rock and Roll to You. It's a pretty weird ending to the movie, honestly.
It is, but have you ever looked up what the original ending was going to be?
I heard something about that actually.
They were supposed to fight the dream monsters, right?
Yeah, they were going to fight the dream monsters at the end, and it was going to be Bill and Ted Go to Hell. And, like, it was... They ended up filming that ending, but it just didn't play out right. So like the last 6 weeks before the movie was released, they added the scene with heaven, they added the stations, they added the good Bill and Ted robots. Like none of that was in the original script.
Really?
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like totally random Bill and Ted facts. But like ever since Face the Music's come out, I've gone like on a massive Bill and Ted deep dive. It's rekindled just like that movie love from a kid.
We haven't seen it yet, but I really am super curious about it.
Yeah.
The new Bill and Ted.
It hits the right heartstrings, just like the Jay and Silent Bob get a reboot. Like they hit like the aging, maturing heartstrings just right.
Gotcha, yeah.
Rockers and punkers out there.
I haven't seen the new Bill and Ted, or not Bill and Ted, Jay and Silent Bob either. I kind of, after a couple of like some of the more recent Kevin Smith movies, I'm more or less kind of jumped off just keeping up with them, you know? Like I watched Kevin Smith movies like the day of, especially after Clerks 2 when I was like grade 7. I thought it was the funniest thing when I was in junior high or something.
You just really aged yourself. Clerks 2 came out when I was in college. I'm gonna feel it.
Yeah.
He's actually not old enough to be in bars.
I have to like ID it. I have to take big IDs. It sucks, man.
Are you free kids in a flannel actually?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's a Muppet man.
Yeah.
The old Alberta switcheroo.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm always curious about this. Like, how is the scene up there for venues and stuff like that? What's it like up there?
Calgary's got an awesome music scene. Actually, Alberta's good. Like, Edmonton's really good as well. I mean, like, this is Canada, so like our populations are just generally like a little smaller. But there is like a faithful, strong scene in both of the big cities in Alberta. And then even when we go and play somewhere smaller, there's generally like, a few people. Like now this isn't like, it's still like all relative, like compared to maybe like, I don't know, 20 years ago, it's probably shitty. But like there is like a core, maybe 1,000 people in Calgary that like, would you say that many?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that seems like reaching for it, but
maybe. Yeah, but they're pretty faithful to coming out.
Yeah,
and Calgary does have a pretty good art community, so.
Yeah, Alberta's just.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to talk over.
I was just saying that Alberta's just great because like there are a lot of venues to play, but it's kind of I don't know where I'm getting at, but it was just. There are a lot of venues to play, and a lot of venues do punk rock. Like, there's a lot of good places to actually play loud music, and I hope that keeps up post-COVID.
I mean, that's the big question, right? Like, so we're in the middle of, we finished recording this new album, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's ready to go, but all we needed, we're supposed to release it in June, and then COVID, blah, blah, blah. So now we're still kind of like, we're working out the details to hopefully release it in December, but like, it is a matter of like which venues are going to be able to do it. Like, and like, and it really, we're from Calgary right now, or we're from Calgary, and so the oil industry was hit really, really hard out here, and that's like what this province was built on. And so a lot of the bars are like, were already hurting really bad before COVID, and so it's a matter of like which ones are still going to be open after all is said and done.
A lot have held on, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, we lost a few.
We have lost a bunch.
We lost a few.
Yeah. Which definitely makes it hard. You know, we've seen it even here in Maine. You know, there's a bunch of us, like our favorite stomping grounds, favorite dive bars and stuff like that. We're small. They were like less than a 200-person capacity already, and they were already dealing with their own struggles beforehand. And then this just absolutely sealed the deal, which is hard, you know. But hopefully when this is over, they may be able to pick a different location, which I've seen happening in like some other cities. Like this bar, you know, this venue closed down, but they're able to actually get their lease renewed at this place. So they're still continuing in different ways. So I think it'll be definitely interesting to see where we all come out at the end of this. So to say the least.
Totally, yeah.
So now, as we've been a band for a little while now here, what I'm sure there's something that's happened in the travels that's just like completely stood out. That was just fun or wild.
Yeah.
So, like, they're like a favorite like Galacticas show memory that you've experienced or perhaps even had.
We have so many stories from Jordan. Like we got a good journal. But I don't know, Mark.
Sure. I was gonna say we had this show booked in Medicine Hat, and so we were driving down. And Medicine Hat's about a 3-hour journey, maybe 2 hours from Calgary here. And it was a good 2 hours into the journey that we realized, wait, did we bring the snare drum? I don't think we brought the snare drum. Oh no! And so we're contacting bands in Medicine Hat, like we're trying to find a snare drum in Medicine Hat, and no one had a snare drum. So and we're the only band that plays this show this night, you know. So we're supposed to be on for 3 hours of music with no snare drum. And so we end up making, we use a floor tom, and we put a wallet chain
on it, and a shirt on it, and it actually like really worked. You know,
like the girls were dancing, like, and we got through the set, and then after a bunch of girls came up, a couple of girls, do you guys want to come party with us? And we were like, no, we went because we wanted to go back to our hotel and play Smash Brothers.
Yeah, we had to switch with us. We had to play Smash.
We were little.
Yeah. All the inappropriate jokes that I could fill in right there.
Yeah. But I actually thought you were talking about the other time we went to go play the same town Medicine Hat. On the way back, we hit a deer, and that was that was a good night.
Yeah.
Tons of fun.
Yeah, that was.
But we could go on forever.
Well, that's definitely like.
Oh yeah,
that's a realistic concern for being in a northern band. Like for some people watching this, they're like, "Oh, you hit a deer. That's crazy." But like where we live, like I'm in the middle of central Maine, and that's furthest eastern point in the United States. And then you guys are even further north than we are. But that's every day. Like every day I drive to work, I see deer leaving my house every single day.
Yeah.
I see turkeys, I see rabbits, there's moose in the area. Like this is just everyday life for us.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. And it really fucked my car right up. Like, that was the end of that. Yeah, to get a new vehicle.
What were you driving when you hit it?
Sorry?
What were you driving for a vehicle?
It was a RAV4 that we just tow our gear in a trailer with. And that was good, but now I got a new vehicle, and it's been on tour a few times, so I don't know. Yeah, like it's we have so many just ridiculous tour stories that we go on forever.
Well, I definitely want to hear a few more, but I gotta circle back because obviously, girls they sometimes they want to party afterwards. Something Smash Brothers with your bros, that's the life. So
yeah, totally.
Absolutely. The big thing is you turn the floor tom into a snare. So as a guitarist, and that's just like blows my mind because obviously you just created your own snapping system with the wallet chain on there just to give it that little extra oomph with the shirt. That's fucking brilliant. A little bit of extra ingenuity.
It was the most MacGyver moment we all had, and like the fact I was scared at the time. Like, I don't know if we can pull this off, and like, but we started playing, and things started to work out, and we were like, we did it, guys.
Yeah. That means he didn't actually have access to a floor tom. He had his rack tom.
I had my rack tom, so like all my fills were just like on one tom.
Yeah, but to be fair, the venue was very small, and like it was good that we didn't it was a quiet venue, so like we didn't need a mic, the snare, or anything like that, and so we got lucky there. But yeah, it was definitely we really just had to pull through and figure out a way to make it work, because
Yeah, that's something that we've really gotten good at over the years, is adapting to smaller venues and playing a little bit quieter, and like just fitting the venue so that everybody enjoys it. It's not a lot of bands. I mean, I don't want to say that, but like I don't think a lot of bands can do that very often and stay true to their music. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. If you're a metal band, it's very difficult to make everything sound quiet. Yeah, it helps that we're kind of pop punk, and we can turn the amps down. He puts shirts over his snare or whatever, and then we can play at like a kind of a just a more chill sort of bar. Instead, it allows us to play a lot more out of town. Yeah. Because a lot of small towns just don't have proper punk or metal venues, right? So
yeah, and sometimes you're starting so early in the night where people are still eating dinner, and like you don't want to be like, here's Blink-182, boom. So you gotta like start off a little quieter, and then later on, like by midnight, you start
turning it up.
Yeah, you can start wailing.
The shirts come off the snare.
Yeah. But shirts come off the floor tom.
Yeah. Even here in the States, like beat downs and like spaghetti dinners usually don't go well together.
No, right.
I like that, spaghetti dinners.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining a bunch of families just munching, having some meatballs. I don't know what people go out to dinner for. I don't know what want. I just imagine spaghetti dinners, because maybe that's what I want.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about noodling on the guitar when you were doing that, so I thought you were saying spaghetti dinner in referring to.
Oh, that could work too. Just spaghetti noodling, just away.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to refer to it now. That's amazing.
I only say that like years back when I was playing in like a heavy like deathcore band. We played in some restaurant in New Hampshire, and they were actually like just ending meal service that they're like breaking away like benches and tables and stuff to put in for the metal bands, and it was one of those shows where there was like 9 people, and I'm like, this is one of the weirdest fucking places to play, because there's people taking food orders. So usually I've played bars and stuff like that, but like never in a restaurant. That was new for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Have you seen that movie Green Room?
No.
It's a really cool sort of like punk rock movie. It's about these kids that play a place that has a whole bunch of white supremacists there, and they have to figure their way out. But at the very beginning, they play a really bad show in a Denny's, and like that's boot camp,
Oh, we've done similar.
Yeah, we've definitely done similar.
Have you played at a breakfast restaurant before?
Maybe. At this point, like, not during breakfast, but we played some really funny places for sure. Just like the small town Alberta, whatever place. There's a place called like Neighborhood Corner Pub in this town called Drumheller that they're just like a nice little pub that they like to have us come and play. And it's just like, I don't know, feels like we're out of place, but
yeah,
they ask for us back.
Yeah, they're super nice people, and like whenever you find a place that you can wiggle your way into, and you like the people that are there, and they set you up, and it's just a good vibe the entire time. You just want to hold on to those relationships as long as possible.
Well, absolutely, especially when you find that venue that actually feels like home, like a home venue, and they're so kind and accommodating, and they actually like they hit you up and they want you back. Like that makes for a special experience,
Absolutely, yeah.
It kind of just validates all the work that you put into everything so far.
Yeah, totally. And we've done the work.
Well, definitely sounds, and especially the ability to have like a 2 to 3 hour set. That's that's something that not a lot of people get to that level. Is, you know, of here's a bunch of our originals, here's a ton of covers, and we're prepared for like any situation.
It's the only real way to make any money.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's definitely hard, you know, and be able to accommodate a location while still doing the things that you love is awesome.
Yeah, yeah. We like playing covers. Like we enjoy doing it, so nobody's like bitter. There's a few that we don't like to play too much, but you know,
we deal with it. Yeah. The people, it's for the people.
Yeah. Well, that's the punk rock and covers have like gone like they're peanut butter and jelly together, you know. I mean, you have an entire bands like Be First and the Gimme Gimmes made an entire career off from just doing cover songs.
Totally, yeah.
Well, and that's why we like to pick pop songs, because like we do some like Against Me or Green Day, but but we end up just playing those the same way they're already played. Whereas if we're doing Katy Perry, then we have to be like, okay, we got to play this with like seriously just a distorted guitar and like, you know, like, so like how can we change the song to fit the vibe that we bring to it? And that's a lot more fun. And we recorded on a new album, Katy Perry's Teenage Dream. So that's going to be on the new album. And on Diagnostics, unfortunately, you probably haven't heard it because it's only on the CD version, but we actually have our cover. We have a recorded cover of Taylor Swift's Love Story, where we really punkify it. Like we make it all fast and
I think you can find it on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, you can find our version of that. I was worried about putting it on Spotify.
Yeah, because I listened to Diagnostics and I did not hear a Taylor Swift cover.
No, yeah, it is just the disc version. I was afraid Taylor Swift was going to come over and knock down my door and get pissed at me. So,
well, hopefully this doesn't bring any unnecessary attention to this.
Exactly.
I find that like most people are down for like a good cover, especially if it's in like a good spirit of it, you know. I don't be like an honor, like a merit badge if somebody were like to cover you. I mean, you know, like for people to take offense to like Weird Al doing a parody, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? If Weird Al's doing a parody of your song, that means you fucking made it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So, I mean, anyways, it's on YouTube. So, so Taylor Swift has a problem with it. I mean, I don't know. She can take
it up to us personally.
Got to head to Berta and figured it out.
Yeah. We're waiting.
So you guys are looking at an expected date of releasing the new album in December. You've been staying busy, making music videos, and even planning a new animated one as well. So it's definitely good that you're staying motivated throughout all of this and even trying to plan for the future of what you can do, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're definitely productive. Like we don't waste too much time with our work. So
there's not much else to do these days.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for damn sure. So before we part ways, where can everybody find your music online?
Well, yeah, like you can find it on all the streaming services, Spotify and whatever the kids are using these days. It's on Bandcamp as well. Just the Galacticas Alberta at bandcamp.com. And then we have a ton of music videos on YouTube. If you were just to type in the Galacticas on YouTube, you'll see all of our music videos. And we got I don't know, 5 or 6 videos, I think. So
yeah, perfect. Well, thanks for hanging out on Halloween with us. A happy Halloween to you guys.
Yeah, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And my guests tonight have been Mark, Anthony, and Will of the band Galacticas out of Alberta, Canada. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys.
Thanks, Punky.
Thank you.
Thank you.